Hello, this is a video recording for the MAHPERD conference. I'm Mike Forster, this is Sylvia Forster. We're with a group called Dance for Health, a project really that's called Dance for the Health of It, which is sponsored by a number of entities in the Hattiesburg area, including the Department of Health, the City Parks and Recreation, a couple of programs at the University of Southern Mississippi, including the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute, by the local dance clubs, USA Dance, chapter of the national organization USA Dance, it's chapter 6116. In Hattiesburg, the Family YMCA of Southeast Mississippi is a sponsor of the project as well. Hattiesburg Ballroom and Beyond, which is the little studio in downtown Hattiesburg, where we are recording this. They're all sponsors of this. We want to say a word about Dance for the Health of It before we get into this workshop itself, which will focus on some basics of ballroom dancing, really three types of basics. We're going to look at some of the key steps, because we always think, first of all, how do we move our feet? What are we doing with our feet when we're dancing? So we're going to look at a few core steps that provide the foundation for just all ballroom dancing, right? All social dancing, partner dancing. We're also going to look at a few basics in regard to how we hold our own bodies, right? A few aspects of that which are critical to social dancing. And then finally, we will look at some basics in the 6 core ballroom dance styles, right? There are 3 smooth styles and 3 rhythm styles, and we're going to show you the basic stuff in all of those. And hopefully that'll all fit well within the time frame of this workshop. Dance for Health is a project that we'd love to get the word out, and I think folks that are viewing this, who are attending the conference, which I've attended in the past when it was on the Southern Miss campus, and presented at, spoken at, are the kind of people we would hope to spread the word about Dance for the Health of It. The overall mission is to get Mississippi moving, to improve the overall culture of health in the state, and to do it in a way that's very accessible. So Dance for the Health of It really has 3 essential dimensions. The first is developing a core of volunteer, most of them beginning dancers, not all of them, that are willing to exhibit, are willing to go places and dance publicly, to show other people that it's pretty easy to get into dance. And we've done some of that in the city of Hattiesburg through the City Parks and Recreation. We're doing it at individual events as they come up, as the opportunities present. The second dimension of Dance for the Health of It is partnerships with various community entities, like some of those I just named, but also local businesses who are essentially just lending their name to the project and saying, this is a good thing, right? This is a good thing for people to dance, it's healthy, it's cheap, it addresses many dimensions of health, physical, cognitive, emotional, social, you name it. It's good overall, right? So that's the second dimension, and we're gradually building the partnership relationships out there. And the third thing is just to put people in contact, those who want to study dance, put them in contact with either groups or individual teachers in their own local community where they can go to pursue an interest in dancing and learn more, right? So that's what it's about. It doesn't cost anything to join up with Dance for Health. Though donations are always welcome, but there are no charges for anybody to participate. So we're making this video. That's the first thing we wanted to share. So to get into the meat of it, the basics of ballroom dance, right? We want to start with the idea of key steps, right? And you've heard the expression, no doubt, if you can walk, you can dance. So the very first thing, we want to address 4 types of steps that are kind of like key to any type of social dance style. So the first thing we do is just walk, right? We're going to walk, either way, left or right. So just walk, and if you're at the plate, you're watching this and you're somewhere you can do it with us, right? So just walk forward 4 steps. Walk, 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 right? We're gonna go backwards. We can walk forward, we can walk backwards. Walk, 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 walk. If we can walk forward and back, we can walk to the side. Walk, 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 walk. Go the other way. Walk, 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 walk. We can also go on diagonals, and that will factor in to certain dance styles where we would walk, 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 or walk, 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 right? So walking is the very first thing, and it's something we all know how to do pretty easily. We should, right? And notice something, we're going to point this out and emphasize this in a minute, a little bit further. But when we walk, we are always changing our weight, right? So we don't split weight when we walk, right? We don't like evenly distribute our weight over both our feet because we couldn't move, right? So when we walk, we change our weight, we free the other leg, foot, to walk, and walk, and walk, and whatever direction we're going, right? So even just walks, we already have the main thing. If we combine forward walking, backward walking, side walking, we have enough to do the basic step in certain dances, right? So here's one. We're going to show you a little bit more about this later. We'll do this from the side, so it should be easier to see. But this is a foxtrot basic step. It's a walk, walk, sidewalk, walk, walk, sidewalk. Obviously, it's different for the follower than for the leader because the follower is mirroring the leader. So the follower is walking back while the leader is walking forward, and the leader is going to the left with a side step, the follower is going to the right. But all we're doing is walking. There's another very, very popular dance that many folks probably already know how to do a little bit of, called country two-step. And it's nothing but walks going forward or backward, depending on lead or follow, that is counted as quicks and slows, and it goes quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow. So all that is walking in one direction, and it goes around the room. So that is the basic step in those two dances. If we went into the Latin arena, you know, walks are the key step in merengue, right? So with merengue, which is often described as kind of a marching dance, it's nothing but walk, 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 walk. You go the other way, walk, 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 walk. You go forward, walk, 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 walk. You go backwards, walk, 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 walk. That's the basic step of merengue, right there. Walking, that's all it is, right? And you could add a little hip bump to that, and you get pretty close to the basic step in another Latin dance style called bachata. Walk, 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 hip bump, walk, 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 hip bump, right? So just with walks, you start building the basis for several dance styles. Okay, it's walks. The second step element that we want to show is called box step. Right? The box step involves, and leaders and followers are going to end up doing the same forward or backward move depending upon where they are in a particular pattern. But the basic of a box step, and do it on your left foot. So we're going to walk forward on the left, we're going to walk to the side with the right, we're going to close with the left, we're going to walk back on the right, side with the left, and close. Right? And that's the box. So again, if you're in a position where you can actually do this, please do it so you can feel it in your body. So box step, which is generally counted, well, I won't get into the counts because it's different depending on style, but it's forward, side, together, back, side, together, again, forward, side, together, back, side, together, right? So box step is very important. It factors into a lot of dances in one form or another, but there are two in particular where it is the basic step of those dances. And the first one is Rumba in the Latin family, and it looks like this. Forward, side together for the leader, back, side together, and the opposite for the follower. So back, side together, forward, side together, right, for the follower. Maybe later. So that's one style that the box step is the basic step in. There's another quite different, smooth dance. Rumba's in the rhythm family. Smooth dance is waltz, right? And the style, the look of the dance is different, but it's still a box step. We count this because it's in 3/4 time. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the box, but it is the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll show you a little bit later, hopefully, with time permitting, how that same box step can turn. It looks like you're doing a different step, you're doing the same step, right? So you're in that, with just that one move. So the box step is the second thing. So we've had walks in different direction, and now we have the box, which could be described as just walks of different, in different directions, but it's a little bit different because you have to kind of move this foot in and out, right? And close, and then back, in and out, and close. So it's not quite simple walks, right? So it stands on its own as a type of step. The third type of step that we want to show is a triple step, right? A triple step is going to be used in a number of dances in one form or another. One in particular where it is the basic step, we'll show you in a minute. But in a triple step, what we're doing, we're going to both do it to the left to begin with, is a one step to the left, the step, right foot coming over to close, and then one further step out with the left. You go back the other way because now this foot should be free. 1, close, 2. It's actually 2-beat rhythms. We're not going to get into all that right now, but if we call it a triple step, which is the way we usually think about it in ballroom, it goes triple step, keep the feet open, triple step, right? Triple step, triple step. As I said, it's going to factor into a number of different dances, but there is one dance in particular, moving on an angle, where it is the basic step, and that's polka, right?
A popular Southern Mississippi dance.
Polka's not a terribly popular dance, but it is around and it's a lot of fun and it's a great cardio workout if you ever want to, do 5 minutes of upbeat polka dance. You'll feel it. So polka looks like this. Ready, and triple step, triple step, triple step, triple step, triple step, triple step. So all we're doing is that triple, and it keeps that same, not only the rhythmic structure, but it keeps the same positioning of the feet. So again, you go out to the, and you go either direction with this, out to the left, close with the right, out to the left again, out to the right, close with the left, out to the right again. Triple step, triple step. This also is something that we can do, well, we just showed it in polka. You can do it forward, you can do it backward, you can do it, as we'll show with a different dance style, you can do it to the side, back and forth. You can do it in what's called a promenade position, back and forth. And all of these different versions of the triple step will factor into different dance styles. Okay, and so we've got walks, we've got the box, we've got triple step, and the final type of step that we want to point out is a rock step. Rock step is very important in many different dance styles, but it's a simple step once you get used to it. It's simply a weight change, right? So we're going to do it, we're going to show it going back on the left, and depending on what the dance style is, the rock step is going to involve going right behind the other foot. So if I'm stepping with my left, I would go rock, step. Again, it's mainly a weight change, rock, step, right? Or it could be straight back, rock, step. For our purposes here, it really doesn't matter. We don't need to get into fine distinctions. That's going to depend on the dance style you're in. So just do this if you can. Just take a step back on your left and replace the weight to your right.
Or
Right?
if you're a follower, it's the opposite.
Yeah, or you could be doing it the other way too, right? So, but do that first. Do rock, step, rock, step, rock, step. Right? Again, you
It's
can
like
do,
a rocking horse.
you can do it the other way, right? You can do it with the right foot, rock, step, rock, step, rock, step. Right? Now we can do that backwards, right? With the first step being back. We can do it forward. Rock, step, or rock, step, rock, step. We can do it to the side. When we do it to the side, if the feet are open, we're basically going to do a weight shift without moving our feet at all, right? Or we move the left foot, say, and then hold, right? So it'd be rock, step, or it could be the other way. Rock, step, right? Rock, step. Very important step to have. There is, with only slight modification, there's a couple of dances you could say all they really are rock steps, right? So that one of those would be salsa, because it goes like this: rock, step, close. That's the slight modification. Rock, step, close. Rock, step, close. Rock, step, close. Right? And we could do side things with that as well. Rock, step, close. Rock, step, close. Right? That is the basic step of salsa. With if you add a little bounce to it, then you have samba, right? Which goes counted 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, basically all you're doing there is a rock, step, and a close, only now you're getting that rise and fall. Rock, step, close, rock, step, close, rock, step, close, rock, step, close. Rock, step, basic step, 2 dances. So we've seen now that you have a number of dances that, not all of those are in the core ballroom canon, by the way, but not important. Those simple steps on their own, whether it's walking or box step or triple step or rock step, that's all you would need to know the basic step in those dances. Now when we start putting them together, that's when it starts to get interesting, right? So the rock step, what we're going to show right now before we go into another section, the combination of triple step and rock step opens up a lot of doors, but in particular, it forms, the combination of those 2 steps form the basis for 2 very popular dances that are within the core set of American style ballroom dance, and that's East Coast swing, which is closely related to, historically, to the jitterbug, from which a number of dance styles emerged, swing dance styles, and cha-cha, right? So we want to show how that goes before we move on to the next session. So in East Coast, yeah, we're going to talk about framing and hands and all that in just a minute, but we will combine the triple step and the rock step. We're going to do 2 triples and a rock, and that is the basic step in East Coast. So here we go triple step, rock, step, triple step, rock, step. We can do lots of things with this basic step, as we'll show you in a little bit. But it's just that triple in both directions, triple, rock. And we got the basic in swing. Closely related, even though ordinarily when we start dancing, we don't think of these as being closely related in style, but they are, is cha-cha, right? So to get going, we take a step to the side, but then it's all rocks and triples. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha, rock, step, cha-cha-cha, rock, step, cha-cha-cha, rock, step, right? Rock steps, triples, East Coast swing, cha-cha, basic step in both of them, right? So again, we've got walks, we've got box step, we've got triple step, we've got rock step. So putting those together, and you've got the basic step in a lot of different dances. Okay, section 2 of this workshop, we want to go over some basics of body mechanics that are important to almost any, well, literally every partner dance style. And the first one is basic posture. By basic posture, we don't mean perfect posture. We don't mean that you can necessarily carry a book on your head and not drop it, though that would be nice. We mean stacking of weight primarily, right? Which is important to maintaining balance in dance. So essentially, we want to make sure that our weight is clearly in a line from the head, shoulders, torso, hips, knees, ankles, feet, right? So we want to avoid, and for the most part, we're going to maintain this, except when we're doing a shaping pattern, we want to maintain this basic stacking setup, right? That's going to keep us in balance, right? So we don't want to find ourselves, leaning over too far and letting that stack go. So you can imagine, as some teachers like to use this metaphor, if you have a stack of 3 or 4 vegetable cans, right? And you want to carry those to your pantry without knocking them all over, you're going to have to keep them in a pretty straight line. So even as you're moving, you're going to maintain that stack. Clearly, you're not going to be doing this, otherwise they'll fall apart. Same thing with the body. Okay. Another aspect of posture is moving from the center, right? So if the body weight is well stacked, then it's pretty easy when we move to move from our center, our physical center, literally the center. We're not moving like leaders. We're not leading by the upper body pushing, right? Nor are the followers, following by pulling themselves. They're both moving from their center, whether it's forward or back, right? So this is often illustrated by showing that even when we're paying no attention to our feet, which is the most natural thing in the world when you're learning to dance, you want to think about, what are my feet doing? Where are my feet going? What pattern should they be following? But key to lead and follow is moving from the center, along with frame, which we're going to talk about in a moment, so that it doesn't really matter where the feet are going. I'm not following any particular pattern here. I'm just moving, and we're keeping the same distance, the same spacing of our bodies, and somebody's just following this erratic, nonsensical pattern because I'm moving from the center, she's moving from the center, and we're maintaining our body posture, right? So that's key. Stacking weight and moving from your center. Frame, just mentioned. We were in frame just now, and what is the frame that will be used in most ballroom styles? A little bit of modification when we get into swing styles, which we'll show you. But the key elements of frame, very important, is that 2 things: tone of the body and contact points, right? Now, the tone of the body means just that. You want to maintain, you don't want your body to be slack, ever, right? You want to maintain muscle tone throughout your body, right? It's not tight, but it is toned, right? So that's number 1. Second is contact points. So we're going to show you the 4 key contact points here. Physical contact points. Obviously, this is number 1, which is palm-to-palm contact. It's not a grip, even though people will, they'll curl their fingers around and so on, but it's really not a tight grip. We don't want to be in a tight grip because we're going to execute various patterns. We need to be able to open the hand, move the hand, do turns and so on. It's a palm-to-palm contact, and there is a bit of pressure, again, tone. So it's not completely slack, otherwise we'd have noodle arms, right? And that's no good. So we need to have, so if I do this, she's gonna feel that, right? She's gonna give back the pressure that I apply to the palm. So that's number one contact point. Second contact point, and generally considered the most important for lead and follow, is this contact point, where the leader's hand is on the follower's shoulder blade, right? Because this is like almost a rudder steering mechanism. Anytime I want to turn, if we're dancing swing, and I want to go to this direction, most of my lead is coming from right here, right? If I'm going the other way, it's going to be some from here, and then it's going to be from the hand, right, as well. So, but this is very important, moving in any direction to let the follower know where we're going. The third contact point, very important, is this of the follower's hand on the leader's shoulder. Again, we're thinking tone, we're thinking sort of light pressure. So along with the hand contact, back contact, she's pressing against this shoulder. So that combination of the shoulder blade contact and the hand to the leader's shoulder is probably the key to maintaining a good frame, because it's going to keep us from collapsing into one another, right? She's going to be back in this hand, right? And she's going to keep the pressure on this shoulder so that we don't collapse into one another, so that we maintain this. And generally that's what you want to do. You want to maintain the same amount of space, again, unless it's a stylistic thing that you're using for a particular dance pattern, right? But ordinarily you're going to be maintaining this. And the fourth contact is also here, and it's in this sort of an elbow to elbow, or arm to arm. The leader's upper arm, follower's lower part of the arm. We want that in good contact because that is going to help us with shaping, right? So if I want to do something like this, that's where that's going to come from, right? And so, like, even with a basic waltz, right, we're going to do a certain amount of shaping. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those are your key contact points: frame, tone of the muscle, and the contact points. Keeping those will maintain a good frame. Right? So we've got posture, moving from the center. We have frame, all working together for us to control our bodies in a way that's going to look good when we're dancing. The third point around body control, what we're doing with ourselves, each of us, leader or follower, is weight changes, right? So generally speaking, whenever we move a foot, we're changing a weight, right? And whatever step we're doing, if I move the left foot, I'm putting weight on it, which means I'm making my right foot free, right? When I go to that right foot, I'm putting weight on it. When I close, I'm again changing weight, right? So that the other leg, the other foot is free. So every time we move our feet, we're changing weight. Now there are exceptions, because most of the time we're going to call those taps, because we want to use that same foot again. So you might change weight, tap, because now I want to go off on that same foot again, right? But that's the exception. For the most part, anytime we move the foot, we need to change the weight. Probably the biggest mistake, most common mistake that beginning dancers will make is not changing their weight when they move their foot, right? Especially with something like that box, there'd be a weight change, and then this foot comes in, but there's not a weight change, right? So now the right foot's not ready to go, this foot's ready to go, because I put a weight on it, and then I want to step back with this foot, and I messed up my pattern, right? So every time the foot moves, you want to change the weight. Even when it's not particularly noticeable, like in the faster dances, it may not be evident that if I'm doing cha-cha, I'm changing the weight every time, but I am, right? I am, it's just happening quickly. Okay, and then the final point around this, which kind of emerges from that last point, is a whole notion of rhythm, right? Which is really about counting. I'm a counter. I always count steps. I would much prefer, like in the cha-cha, to count it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. But there's always an underlying count, whether you use the numbers or you use quicks and slows, right? So typically, a slow is going to be 2 beats and a quick is going to be 1. So in rumba, we've shown that already. When we count it, we typically count it as slows and quicks. So it would be slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. But we can count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? A lot of patterns are set up in 8 count structure. So the rhythm is important to pay attention to because that is going to connect with your body control, right? So if I'm not paying attention to the rhythm, if I'm not counting, whether in terms of slows and quicks or literally using numbers, then I may end up rushing through a step. That's another very common mistake, not holding the slows, right? So someone may even say, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. They're not holding the slow for 2 beats, right? It throws off their rhythm, it throws off the rhythm of the dance, and it sure as heck throws off your follower when yet leaders are rushing through the steps, right? So the other aspect of rhythm that I think is important to point out is that it does come. Many people have said, well, I can never dance because I have no rhythm. Everybody has sufficient rhythm to dance. Some of us have to work on it a little bit more than others. It's true, some people have a better natural rhythm. Folks that have played music, they're used to counting, they're used to rhythmic structures, and they're often going to take to dancing much more readily than people who haven't played music. But we all have rhythm. Our bodies are rhythmic. We walk in rhythm. Our hearts are beating. We have rhythm. You just need to work at it, right? So those are the 4 key things I wanted to point out around body basics for leaders and followers both. The posture, which includes the stacking and moving from the center. The frame, which is maintaining tone and keeping those contact points clear. Weight change whenever we move our feet, and then doing it according to the rhythmic structure of the music, which usually means slows and quicks, holding slows for 2 beats. Okay, so thinking we're probably at this point about 25 minutes. Could you go check the time? Let's see how far it is. We're trying to keep this in the time frame that was recommended by the MAHPERD organization.
33 minutes.
How long are we in?
33.
We're 33 in now? Okay, so we have about another 10 minutes that we can use to work on basic steps in the 6 core dance styles that make up American style ballroom dancing, right? And I'll just put in one more plug that anybody who's interested in the Dance for Health idea from folks I've met with MAHPERD in the past, and I'm really delighted that MAHPERD has continued to keep dance within its umbrella of activities that are covered, that they want to educate people about, that you're the kind of people that we would like to spread the word about Dance for Health. So if you have interest in doing that and you want to connect, I believe this information is being included in the conference materials, but again, the name is Mike Forster, that's F-O-R-S-T-E-R, and you can reach me at 601-466-4934, and we can talk about, what we might do, how we might work together to promote this Dance for Health concept. Okay, so we want to show the basic step now in 3 rhythm styles and 3 smooth styles. Those 6 dances together make up the heart of the American ballroom dance canon, right? So the 3 rhythm styles are, we've already shown something about each of those, are rumba, cha-cha, and East Coast swing. The 3 smooth styles are Foxtrot, Waltz, and Tango. Tango is the only one we haven't even mentioned yet. So we're going to show you what the basic steps are in those, and hopefully you can, and again, I'm encouraged if you're in a space where you can actually move, try this, right? Even if you're by yourself, you can still try it, and it doesn't matter whether you do the leader part or the follower part. But we'll try to point out both, right? What are the key elements of both? So, beginning with the rhythm, once again, the basic step in rumba, first dance we'll look at, is a box, right? Slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. If you can do that, you have done the basic step. Without changing anything, we can do something else that makes the dance much more interesting, that doesn't involve any more than just turning. Slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. This really only works with the leader turning to his left, right? You can make it work the other way, but it gets a little bit awkward. Once we know how to do that though, we don't have to deviate too far from the basic step to start getting into other steps. We can just do that little outside partner, right? Slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. See, we haven't changed the rhythm at all. We're still doing it slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, right? We could do that same step and start and give it a totally different look by opening up. Slow, quick, quick, 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 slow. After that, it does get a little bit faster because then we have to get into things such as open breaks and on our own turns. We'll just show you what that looks like, but it's not the basic step. Slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. So not too, the basic, once you get that basic down, especially once you get the rhythm in your body, right, it feels comfortable to you, then picking up those other pieces is pretty easy, right? So that's the basic in rumba. The basic in cha-cha. Yeah, sorry, I think it's okay if it goes a little bit over. Basic in cha-cha is, as we had illustrated previously, 1, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha, right? Which is the rock and the triple step. Again, we can build on that basic pretty quickly by, along the same lines we just showed with the rumba. Don't change the rhythmic structure at all, but we just start moving the steps in a little bit different direction. 1, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha, right? That's essentially the basic step. We're just adding a little body motion to it, right? That's the cha-cha. East Coast swing, we showed the basic already. I do want to illustrate some difference in the frame. That's the one exception to this basic frame that we use, but it's a fairly minor one. We drop the hand. It's a more relaxed hand hold with the leader's hand going to the outside of the follower's hand and coming over the top, right? So because of the sort of the bouncy nature and the up and down nature of swing, this makes for a much better lead, right? The other thing is a little bit different. We don't stand facing one another. We open up a little bit into kind of a promenade position. This is called a little bit of a V. One thing we didn't point out before about frame, well, let me do it now. Ordinarily, we're inclined to think that we have to be directly facing one another. We're not. We're actually a little bit offset this way. A little bit offset, right? And this is important because for a few reasons. One is that we often worry about stepping on one another's feet. Well, this is how we avoid that, right? So even if the leader moves and the follower doesn't quite pick up the lead right away, the leader's not going to step on the follower's foot here because it's the outside. And then the other step is between the feet, right? And the same goes for the follower. So that's important in kind of framing up. Same is true here, right? So if we're in this position, we're just going to do it basically again, triple step, rock, step. The style of this dance, you know, if you really get into it, it's like bouncing upbeat. Some people really do almost like hop when they do it. You may have heard the dance style of Lindy Hop, which is a swing style. It literally involves some hopping to it, right? That basic step can be used a lot of different ways. We're doing it in what's called closed position, right? Because of all the contact points being here. But we can open it up in a way we can't really do well with the other dances. Triple step, rock, step, right? So we're apart. I'm doing a one hand, I can do a two hand hold. It's the same step, right? We can turn this step pretty easily. Rock, step, rock, step, triple step, rock, step. Go back to close, triple step, rock. That's the same step. Different looks, the same step. And again, we start building on that, we can do all kinds of things with it. So moving to the smooth, because I know we're going to run out of time shortly. Foxtrot, Waltz, and Tango, right? So we showed this at the very top of this session. The Foxtrot is, the basic is a series of walks, short series of walks. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick. All of the smooth styles are what's called line of dance. Dances, they move around the floor in a counterclockwise direction. So if we were doing this in a ballroom setting, it would be slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick. If we hit the corner, we'd probably do something called a corner step, which is the same rhythm, slow, slow, quick, quick. So we establish a new line of dance, and we can move down the floor again, right? So without just a little bit of modification of the basic step, you're in business, you're on the dance floor. Waltz, we showed that basic earlier, we'll show it again. I think we're drifting a little bit. Let's move over here. We'll do it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 count pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can turn this easily, just like with Rumba. 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can start doing balance steps, which are just a modification of a basic pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a lot you can do with a basic step by moving it around different ways. It doesn't involve having to learn anything new beyond that basic step. It's just moving in a different direction or forward and back, side, side, rather than going around, right? And then finally is the tango, which is the only dance style we haven't talked about at all. But it too, it's the only dance style in which we use that tap, right? So I'm going to close on my left as the leader, and I'm going to go out again on the left when I start the basic pattern again. So the basic in tango, which the frame also is a tad different. I mean, you can dance tango straight style to dance it with a little bit more of the original flavor of it. We do get closer. The hand hold is a little bit different. We won't get into all that right here, but it's almost a hip-to-hip connection, right? And it's danced very much in the knees, so there's a little bit more bend in the knees, a little bit lower carriage of the body. I think we mentioned earlier though, in general, you want to dance with soft knees. You don't want to be rigid in your knees, right? You want a little bit of a bend in all of these dance styles. So it looks like this. It's a slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. Right? Yeah, a lot of people said the way to remember that. T-A-N-G-O. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. T-A-N-G-O. So notice that the leader's foot is going to close on the left, but it's going to be a tap close so that the left foot remains ready to go again. So T-A-N-G tap. T-A-N-G tap. Right? So that is the basic step in tango. Very straightforward series of slows and quicks. Check the time one more time. See where we are. I think we're going to be right about at our limit.
46.
46, just where we should be. Okay, so we're going to close out here. Hope you got something out of this. By all means, make contact if you're interested in discussing any of this material, but certainly if you want to know more about the project, Dance for the Hell of It, Dance for the Hell of
I don't know
It.
how much help we have.
These are the t-shirts. There'll be more. You get a t-shirt and become a dance ambassador. Woohoo. Okay, so Mike Forster, Sylvia Forster signing out. Thank you.